Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for making some time to visit with us. I am so excited to have Adrian Yu with Ednovate, the talent associate there, here to provide some tips as we have our students preparing for this year's K-12 Brasserie Career Fair. So that, again, that fair will be held on Friday, February 23rd. Make sure to register if you haven't done that yet. And so with that, welcome.
Hi Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, let's get to it.
Great, great. We want to talk a little bit about employment opportunities for teachers in the region and specifically at Ednovate in the coming year. Can you provide a little bit of background?
Yeah, so we're so excited to let you know that our general subject pools for next school year are currently open. While we're still in the very early stages of hiring, still having middle of year conversations with our staff to figure out where exactly we'll have openings, we are starting with our search for the best teachers in each of these subject areas and in this area.
Great, great. And we'll talk a little bit more about the interview kind of process. Um, well, and actually, let's jump into that. What do you think students should expect? Kind of soup to nuts from the starting of the applying to even kind of onboarding and beginning to be a teacher.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a five-stage process here at Ednovate. First one is that you do a Google Meet interview like this with me. You'll just be talking about like your general first round interview questions, strengths, weaknesses, DEI perspectives. Followed that up by a live demo lesson in front of our very own students. You'll be able to follow that up with a career deep dive walkthrough with your potential principal, and there's a optional follow-up interview with that principal after that, and then finally we end our process with references.
Great, great. And so, is this something, for our students that are completing their student teaching and coursework this semester and really, looking for jobs in the fall, should they be looking for jobs and applying right now, or is that something that they should be waiting a couple months to do?
Yeah, if you apply right now, I'll be able to follow up with you, that same week, and we can schedule an interview and get this moving. So, just want you to know that our timeline is it's a little stretched out right now. Definitely starting with interviews with me first, and then probably in a month or so starting to do those demos.
Great, great. So kind of the message is don't hesitate. You can start looking at jobs that are posted for Ednovate and beginning that process.
Yep, definitely don't hesitate. Always looking for more applications from USC Rossier folks.
Do you want to provide a little bit more background for those that aren't familiar with Ednovate? Because you've got a few schools that are a part of your charter school system, right?
Yeah, so we are a network of charter high schools. We were actually founded by and from in partnership with USC Rossier itself. And really, I believe going back a little bit over 10 years. We were started as kind of like this idea of what if we combine all of this great education research with Rossier, with actual live students in the same area. What kind of results can we get? And that first year, as you can imagine, with any beginning idea or project, that took some workshopping, but we brought in our CEO, and now 11 years later, we have 7 schools. We are looking to expand up to 11 schools, and we've had a 99% college acceptance rate for all of our students ever since then. Our mission is to use our college degrees and careers to make a positive multi-generational change. And for us, what that means is making sure that we're providing a quality, accessible education for our students, so that ultimately when they reach that point of their end of their senior year, they're able to have a choice of college. They're able to have a choice of careers. Our theory is that if they have that choice, they'll be able to uh, have a successful career first, and then bring that positive change back to their communities themselves. So we hope that, with this success, we're able to make positive changes right here in Los Angeles and in Orange County for generations to come.
That's great. That's great. So that's a wonderful collaboration with Rossier. So as we, say Ednovate, clearly that emphasis is on innovation, but also having that same commitment to equity issues, in just community engagement. The intent of the power of education to not just lift individuals, but the community.
Absolutely. And just to reemphasize this, we do focus on first generation college goers. We believe that, that's where we can really make the most difference, and where the most difference is needed.
Great. All right. So that was a little commercial break as we were going through these questions. So I'll jump to another question for our students as they get ready. So, as students are preparing for the USC Rossier K-12 Career Fair, from your perspective, how can candidates stand out there? I mean, there's going to be lots of students. I mean, you've been to a lot of career fairs where you're seeing lots of future teachers. What tips do you have to make the most out of that experience?
Well, first of all, I think this career fair was the only career fair that, one, had lemon in your water, and then also like white tablecloths, which I very much appreciated. That was very fancy, and I loved it. So we're definitely looking forward to attending again this year. USC's campus is again right in our backyard, right behind our wonderful school, our USC hybrid high school. And we're always excited to meet, students from this program. Y'all are always just so prepared. I think that's really what stood out to me about Rossier students last year is, um, y'all were so prepared. You'd obviously done your research. You knew what our mission statement was. You knew where we were, um, and you left a resume with us. I think that if there's anything that I would love to see from your students, it's that. And then also make sure you ask a lot of questions. That's what we're here for.
Great, great. Um, very important points. So now looking at the kind of application process, what do you look for in teaching candidates both in their materials as well as the interview process? And this is kind of, again, to help students, especially students that are applying for their first teaching job. What are some tips as they prepare those materials and get ready for those interviews?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just want to, applaud you guys for getting this far. I wasn't so long ago when I was doing this exact same thing, and I know it can be a little scary, but mostly exciting. So at Ednovate, we have we start every candidate evaluation by asking these couple of questions. One, do you believe in our students? Do you believe in the idea of success for first generation college goers? And then second of all, uh, do you believe in our mission? Do you believe in creating positive multi-generational change? Are you aligned with our values? So for me, it's the candidates who are able to take, that information from, our website or videos that we share out, and are able to craft a narrative around these questions, and are able to answer that clearly. For me, when I think of the teachers that I interviewed a couple years ago, who are now, some of our top teachers who are starting to win awards, and do tons of fun projects with their students, it's those teachers who are able to answer that really clearly who become those teachers.
So that link to your mission is really important, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a technical kind of question, because on the resume itself, sometimes students will include like a statement of purpose.
Mhm.
Do you How important is that as an element on the resume for you?
Yeah, I definitely like seeing someone through their resume. I will say I don't believe that the resume is representative of the whole candidate, and that's really not what we are looking for when we are doing resume reviews. I think when we're doing resume reviews, what I'm usually looking for is our skill sets. Do you have the lessons learned that are going to be able to make you a good fit with us? At Ednovate, we hire a lot of first year teachers. We hire a lot of early career teachers. So, we're not looking for the perfect teacher right away, but we're looking really for someone who has that foundation. So, I definitely know that early in your career, you're not going to have a ton of experience, and that's not what we expect. I think what we are looking for is this someone that we can work with? Um, One other thing I'll add to that is I know this isn't true for every recruiter, but I love looking at cover letters. Like I know with the rise of AI, this is something that it's a hotly debated topic, but I love reading cover letters when I have the time, because I do think that it just adds an extra element to your resume. Another thing that can add to that is your LinkedIn profile. If you have one, definitely link that in your resume. I'm happy to look at that as well.
Great. I appreciate you mentioning those things. And I think um, cover letter is definitely something that takes a little time to get used to how you're going to do it, but it really enables a candidate to connect their experience to the campus that they're applying to. Of like, you could say I'm passionate about your mission, but you can really kind of connect that to your background through the cover letter. Wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and so you had mentioned as part of your process, and this is not surprising. Most, if not just many, schools have lesson presentations. Um,
Mhm.
Maybe a concern for some students, like how do I prep for that? So, what are some of your recommendations for students who are preparing for their lesson presentation as part of an interview process?
Yeah, so our demo lesson is not something that we want to keep secret. We want you to be prepared for this. So it's going to be about 30 minutes long. It's going to be in front of live human being students. And we will be looking for some specifics. There needs to be a student-friendly objective tied to a standard that your principal would assign you. You'll want to start with a strong, independent do now activity for students to be able to work on independently, then have a logical lesson structure that is clearly student led, um, that displays that students are doing most of the thinking. And then we also would expect all of our lesson plans that come through here to really scaffold and accommodate students with IEPs and our multilingual learners. Then lastly, we'll want a strong exit ticket to help wrap all of that up and really quantify and measure the success of that demo lesson. So this is definitely, again, something we're not wanting to keep under wraps. We want you to prepare for this. This is a huge part of what we do here, and the only portion where we really get student input on you. So definitely make sure you're prepared for that.
Wonderful, and it's presented to your actual students. That's great.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
So my next question, what are some common pitfalls or things that you recommend candidates avoid um, as they, are going through either the application or interview process?
I love that you're asking this question, Ryan. Well, it seems simple, but so many of our candidates will schedule an interview with me, get into the interview, and not know what our mission is, not know where our schools are. So definitely do your research before you go into any interview, not with just with us. Know where the schools are located, know what the mission is, and where you see this as a good fit. If you're able to explain again that narrative of, this is why I belong with your school, that's huge. That leaves a great first impression with us.
Great. Very good tip. And doing your research in advance is really important. I like to recommend to students, as they're prepping questions, don't ask questions that you can easily find the answer on the internet, and ask questions that demonstrate you've done some research. So, dig
Yeah.
a little bit into annual reports or outcomes or new initiatives. So I appreciate you mentioning that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with students, I know it's takes some time, but it's definitely worth it.
Great. So what kinds of professional development support do you offer your teachers, in particular your new teachers at Ednovate?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, again, we do hire a lot of early career teachers. So you will at the very least have that network, which I know a lot of our early career teachers love about working at Ednovate. We really want us to be able to open doors for you, and we want you to see this as a place where you can grow. So we have multiple layers of support here. First being instructional coach assigned to every teacher who's able to run through your regular weekly uh, rows and areas of highlighting. Um, You'll have your grade teams, your subject teams. You'll also have quarterly all staff professional development days with a full week before the start of each quarter to do your planning and PD with your school. So I know that that's definitely something that our teachers love, and they're always telling us never get rid of that. So that those are the main things. And then the last thing that I will mention is that every staff member at Ednovate has a direct support of their manager, and that's structured around three separate conversations that you have every single year. And you'll, start the year talking about your yearly development goals, and at each point, continue to check in on those goals and your progress. It's really there where you can talk about, these are the extra supports I might need, and that's really handled on a case-to-case basis.
That's great. Very, very focused to young teachers.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We never want to be the kind of organization that gets in the way of you teaching. So you won't see like a ton of scheduled time interrupting you. But we definitely want this to be a place where you can grow. I should mention one other thing is that every Friday is an early day for our students. So they are dismissed early. The rest of that day is used for planning, PD, um, meetings with all staff, so that you're using that time to do all of those things, whereas some other campuses, some other schools may have that as a part of your schedule. So again, don't want to get in the way of your actual teaching. We want to let you students cook in the classroom, so want to make sure you have dedicated time to PD.
Great, great. And I'll mention to our students as well. I know this year has been really busy between student teaching and your
Mm.
classes, but think of USC as a place for that professional development as well. We have lots of lectures and talks and panels, as well as research centers that are doing wonderful things. So, be connected to Rossier, and if you haven't had an opportunity within the last year to participate in those activities, look for ways that you can do that as an alum.
Absolutely.
And then finally, do you have any other advice that you'd recommend to our students as they're applying for their first teaching job?
Hmm. Well, don't know if you can notice, but I am relatively in my early career myself. So, I definitely understand that this is a super stressful time. But I think it can also be a lot of fun. So, have fun doing your interviews. Um, you may be helping students learn, but you're also learning yourself. So, definitely don't forget that. Um, I think every first teaching job is going to have its difficulties. There's a reputation around that first year of teaching, and that's there for a reason. But we are in a great market for early career teachers, so apply and really make sure that the team you're interviewing with is a team that will support you, that you can grow with, that energizes you. I think the biggest green flag for me as early career professional working at Ednovate is that when I look at our teachers, I really don't see much difference between the teachers who have been here for 10 years versus the teachers who have been here for a couple of years. And in terms of energy, in terms of creativity, in terms of being willing to collaborate. So obviously there's some things that come with experience, but I know that uh, at least when I was doing some student teaching, I was always worried about teacher burnout. And I think at Ednovate, I've been lucky enough to not really see that too much. I so you know don't want to really just tell you that, but if you are interested in seeing for yourself, ask me for a tour, and I'll let you see for yourself.
Wonderful, wonderful. Any final tips or ways to connect with you as students are going through the application process?
Yeah, so I will send tour date information to Ryan. You can talk to him, and he'll be able to give you that information. I'll send him our hiring flyer, and he'll be able to send that to you as well. But if you want to get in direct contact with me, you can always send me an email. I'm always happy to respond. My email is ayu@ednovate.org, and that is on all of our job postings as well. So, yeah, if you're interested in learning more about us, you can do so through a simple Google search, and our website should pop up right there. We are ednovate.org, and hope to be able to see you more soon.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing some time with us and insights for our students as they get ready for their application process to apply as teachers and prepare for our 2024 K-12 Rossier Career Fair. And so we'll look forward to seeing you and our students there on Friday, February 23rd. Till then, fight on.
Since I'm, a former Bruin, I'm not gonna do the fight on, but with you in spirit.
Very good. Thank you.